Hey everyone,
I'm Jill.
and I'm Ryno.
And we love bourbon.
In addition to drinking it, we also wanted to learn about it and share that info with you.
So come join us in
The Bourbon Study. Hello everybody.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Study.
The 12 days of bourbon continue and
Yes,
Holiday
and
Wars continue.
Holiday Wars continues. Yes, of course. If you're following along, we won the first 3 episodes, which is like crazy. I still can't believe any of that. Every time they were like, "You act like you're shocked," and I'm like, "I literally am shocked. I've just like birthed a cake out of my brain in 7 hours time."
Thank God it came out of your brain. I wouldn't eat it anywhere else.
But this week we've got some extra needs for drinking because we had some problems on the episode.
Oh.
Yeah.
No spoiler for anybody who watched yet. That's just your tease.
That's my tease.
That's your tease.
So
So now you gotta go watch it.
You gotta go watch it. Let's just say we had a tough day. But I will say that at the end of that tough day, we took the last 2 hours and actually like made something happen.
So the Food Network, Discovery Plus,
9 p.m.
DVR it
on Sundays,
or
and
watch
then
it in the app.
whenever on the app.
Get on it, people. Get on it. So today we're doing a drink inspired by this week's episode, but we're
Yes.
also doing like a fun, like I feel like a twist on like what is a classic
Exactly. So-
holiday drink. You know,
so,
this time of season.
So this week's recipe was inspired by mulled wine. So it had to be a classic holiday drink that inspired the cake recipe. So there's your baguettes.
What'd you call me?
The cake recipe had to be inspired by a classic holiday drink, cocoa, eggnog, whatever. I selected mulled wine because I thought Ryno took some videos of which drink.
Mulled wine is that thing where you go over somebody's house and
Boiling
they're doing it.
water.
Yeah. So I did. So
such
we
a
learned
good
mulled
idea.
wine.
Yeah,
And
right?
it honestly doesn't take as long as you think.
No, get a crock pot.
So for this recipe, we did mull our own wine.
So Jill, so explain to people who might not be familiar with mulled wine, what does that mean?
It means that you take the wine and you simmer it on the stove with spices. So spices that are traditionally
Cinnamon.
holiday, cinnamon, nutmeg,
Orange,
ginger,
yeah.
our classic 3 allspice, but specifically anise. Star anise is like the star of the show for mulled wine. So basically, you just take wine and fruits. So for the one that we did today, which is this, we simmered it for maybe 5 minutes. It's real quick. 5 minutes with 3 star anise pods. We did 2 cinnamon sticks and a few slices of orange, and then some powdered ginger and nutmeg just to like amp up the spiciness. And it's great. And you can see it's a little thicker. It's a little more viscous because some of the water has evaporated out in that little.
So it
simmering
turns it
process.
again. It starts to get a little syrupy.
But have no fear. We're, of course, adding bourbon. So even if we lost some of the alcohol in this process, there's plenty left to go
It's
around.
not hot. This drink ain't hot, and that's all I cared about because I'm too hot all the time of year. So I'm happy for an iced mulled wine drink, which is not common.
Now, as far as what wine you're going to select to mull, I picked out the Apothic Inferno, which is a whiskey barrel aged red. This is aged for 60 days in whiskey barrels. And what we were talking about is that anytime, and this is a sort of coming into fashion, that a lot of wine is doing aging in secondary conditions.
I find a lot of spirits are really tipping into that because the Rabbit Hole does the bespoke gin that's aged inside of the barrels they use for their rye. But
I think it just sort of takes that $11 bottle of wine and turns it into like a $25 bottle.
It adds that extra,
softens it a little bit. It takes out some of the harshness of the tannins
100%,
and the bite, and it makes it really drinkable. But this is not a sweet wine, so because we're adding in the fruit and the spices and all of that, you really want to have a dry red. So like a Cabernet would work really well for this, or like a Pinot, something dry, something cheap because you're going to be messing around with it. So should we get started?
I think we should get started. So we know that we have mulled wine in it, but let's just start with the bourbon. How much bourbon would you have in this drink?
How much do you think goes in this drink?
I don't know. Maybe like 2 ounces of bourbon?
Of course. We only ever put 2 ounces when we can.
But 2 ounces or more.
2 ounces or more, yeah.
We don't like less. We have done a drink with less, but we
wasn't-
like more.
It didn't.
So it won't be in our top 10, I don't
Wasn't
think.
in our top 10.
Yeah. I could tell you right now,
I know. It
already the
smells
wine,
like
yeah, like it's
like
a
Christmas
candle. Yeah,
smell.
it's delicious.
So we do 2 ounces of bourbon. Again, this is just the Evan Williams single barrel.
But your
These are-
standard
these are
mix
nice,
for
they're
the
cheap, they're
guests.
good for mixing.
Yeah.
And then we're going to use 1 ounce of syrup from the cocktail
cherry,
cherries.
okay.
It has to be cocktail cherries, not maraschino.
Yeah,
We cannot do
because
this with the
maraschino's
red
that like
stuff.
light red.
Yeah, this
you want
is like
that
the
thick,
Amarena,
darker. Yeah,
the dark
yeah.
cherries. So 1 ounce of the cocktail cherry syrup.
I do like that we reuse the syrup, like, because repurpose it. Because I feel like there's some
Yeah,
people that
you
just
use
eat the cherries and then
you're
toss
like,
it.
what
I'm
are we
like,
going to
yeah.
do with this?
I always do, whenever I'm doing an old fashioned, I do like a little scoop of that
Little
liquid in
scoop,
it.
little
Yeah.
dab.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're going to do 1 ounce of the mulled wine. All right.
And then a bunch of ice.
A bunch of ice, but also we need to put some fruit because we put some fruit in the mulled wine. So I'm going to do just a little, like a squeeze. It's not even measurable on an ounce
Just like-
scale, just like a
Yeah, just a
little
pinch.
squeeze of fresh juice. You know the fresh juice, how we love it, and how it really
It does really
just
change the difference,
opens
yeah.
everything up and brings it out, makes it nice. Make it nice.
Make it nice. Make it
and then,
even.
We are going to use a sassafras sorghum bitter.
Sassafras.
If you don't have that, we've also been experimenting with the cherry bitters, which work really well.
They work good, yeah.
But this gives it that extra little
I think
zazz.
the sorghum really adds that extra. It's almost in that flavor wheelhouse. It's like in that right.
Yeah, because you've got the star anise and the cinnamon
Yeah.
and the nutmeg, and it's sort of in that vein of those same.
I don't want to use the word licorice, but it. You know what I do? You
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what
You
star
get it,
anise
right?
is,
Star
a
anise is licorice,
flavor.
right? Yeah, so it's
you
like-
get with the sorghum and the sassafras bitters, you're getting like a little.
Hey, I never get these
amped
flavor
up.
things right. I'm so proud of myself. I just said
Look at you!
licorice. Yeah.
Look at you!
Yeah.
Make it nice for your mother.
Joe. My son is gay.
Okay, so 2 ounces of the bourbon, 1 ounce of the cherry juice, 1 ounce of your pre-mulled wine, and cooled off. Doesn't have to be chilled, but should be not.
Yeah, don't
hot.
boiling hot. Yeah.
And then a little dash of the sorghum sassafras bitters and a squeeze of orange. Cinnamon sticks, we're going to garnish with that.
Garnish with that. Okay. Garnishing with the orange too. So save that orange.
Save the orange. Because the next step, as you know, famously, is
The shake.
the shake.
But how does one mold shake?
You're like simmering.
We're boiling.
So you're like,
Yeah, it's got to start like slow.
yeah, it's like when
And
you
then,
look
like-
in the because we're serving this cold and not hot, but we still wanted it to like look
Pretty
like
presentation,
that.
yeah.
So we're using the little like a mule
Yeah.
copper mule.
I love a
cup.
good mule cup.
And then look at that color.
Just such a flavorful drink. Just even before I sip it.
And then we're gonna do just a little slice of the orange. We'll put that on there.
there, hug
And then
that.
we need our little cinny stick.
A little Sanny.
These are very
Those are the big ones.
Big,
They're so
yeah.
long. Because normally I get the tiny ones. I'm like, these are like
it's like a nice
Sinisterers.
little like cocktail
Yeah.
stir.
Maybe
too,
just
yeah.
pull the ones out of the mulled wine when you boil the wine.
Well,
Use
they're
those
kinda
ones, right?
soft and like
Oh,
wet.
no one wants a soft cinnamon stick. You know what I'm saying?
No one wants
You're not
that.
not this time of year. And then we sip.
And then we sip. And we don't stab ourselves in the eye with the cinnamon.
Cinnamon splinters. It's like wine candy.
If you like sangria,
Yeah.
you're gonna love this.
I think this is like, yeah.
It's holiday sangria. It's like everything you love about like a wine with a little bit of sweetness and that the tartness of the fruit, but then with those added holiday spices.
Yeah, and it's like it's not crazy. It's not like crazy overpowering in any direction. It's still very clearly the
And
wine, still very clearly the
It's not overly sweet because we used a dry red. If you used a sweet red,
it would be way too much.
It would be too
yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, this is like it tastes like it does taste like it's not sugar-free obviously, but it tastes like sugar-free candy when you're like this is the best sugar-free candy I've ever had because it tastes on that border of being like it's sweet. But like a
not
shadow
too
of
much.
sweet. Yeah, it's like it's a dangerous drink too. I feel like because it's not only is it that it's 2 ounces of bourbon, but it's also red wine in there, and so you think drinks like this, you're like, wow, this is it. It's got a juice profile. I'm just gonna down it like juice, and then the next thing you know, tops off at Christmas.
It does taste like juice. It's very deceivingly easy going.
Yeah, I think this is a nice marriage of like people who say they don't like reds, they don't like bourbon, they don't whatever. Give them this drink. Let them try it.
I think this is also a good bridge of seasons sort of thing. This would be just a nice winter drink.
Yeah.
Like if you're like sitting out on the porch.
January,
campfire
February.
going, January, you're like holding on to the tail end of the holiday magic, and you're like, how can I re-encapsulate that? And you can make, like I said, if you buy Star Anise, not in June, you can make mulled wine anytime you want.
Yeah, I mean, usually you don't want a hot drink, but that's what I love about it. You made an ice drink. Also, I don't know about you, I don't know about people out there, but for me, like, mulled wine sounds like such a great idea when it's so cold outside, but being from New England, anytime you step in somebody's house when it's cold outside, it's 10,000 degrees inside. It's hotter than the hottest summer day.
Because they heat the houses with oil burners.
And
they
yeah,
don't have,
so
like,
it's just,
electric.
and there's no way to be like, you can't tell it's too hot until it's too late. So you're already like sweating.
You come in wearing 400 coats, and you're
just
like, I need to wear a
get 'em.
tank top.
It's like that scene where like, who is it in Emperor's New Groove? Not Kronk. Who am I thinking of? The main bad guy.
Yzma.
Yzma.
Yeah.
When she walks in with her fur, when Yzma walks in with her fur coat, she's just like, that's what I feel like. It's like, Yzma does that, right?
Yeah, she does. It's too hot for hot drinks, even a lot of times in cold areas.
Yeah, so I love, like, this is right in my wheelhouse right here. Like, I'm thinking to myself, it's too hot at Grandma and Grandpa's. They got the wood fire going. And there's 10,000 people over, even though there shouldn't be because it's still a pandemic, but they're over.
Like, go outside,
you're like,
go around
this
the
is my
fire
like
pit.
cool me off drink. And the next thing you know, you're really feeling the Christmas spirit. You're
For
really
real,
feeling
yeah.
it. So you'll have to give it a try. I know it's a unique drink. I think this is really going to be one of those kind of across the board enjoy drinks. So give it a try.
Yeah, if you're not a big bourbon fan, you get just like those little hints on the back end. If you're not a big wine fan, it sort of settles out all the problems people have with wine as well. So yeah, like I said, Apothic Inferno is another seasonal release from the Apothic Winery. So if you see it, pick it up. It's generally between $10 and $12 and well worth it because it is barrel aged.
I've seen bourbon barrel aged wines at Target as well. So if you've got a Target liquor store near you, they're worth trying out too. But this is becoming a little bit more of a common thing, like you said before. So give it a try. Leave us comments. Let us know what you're drinking, obviously. And of course, if you want to keep us in our drinking habits, you can visit our Patreon page, patreon.com/the Bourbon Study, where we have some the real Christmas spirit and the real giving spirit.
Yes.
We're trying to get a new camera, so we appreciate anybody that helps us over there. But thank you very much.
We're well on our way with that goal too. So thank you to everyone.
Oh yes, thank you very much. Everybody has been very generous. We really appreciate it. We hope that you are having a great holiday season. And of course, if you like the video, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Do not forget to still be watching Holiday Wars.
Yes.
It's on Disney. It's on Discovery Plus. It's on Food Network. DVR it. Watch it. Root for jail.
Bakers in Toyland.
Bakers in Toyland.
Oh, and we're gonna have a special guest next week.
Oh! Who is it? You'll have to watch and see. Till then.
Cheers.